Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Slow Blink Anime channel. Today we're talking about all the differences from Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 9, Brave Volunteers, and the manga. This episode covers chapters 106 and 107 of the manga, and there's actually a lot to go over today, guys, so let's get into it. The episode kicks off with Armin narrating the events of the past 3 years, to which we find out is Annie crystallized. In this opening scene, we get a few extra reaction shots from the crew as they are lifted by Titan Eren. Also, it looks like in the manga, he lifts the boat so that it's almost perpendicular and the crew has a much harder time hanging on in the manga version. Next, they are still on their bellies as they are greeted by Hanji in the manga, but they are sitting on their butts in the anime. Moving on, Yelena shoots the captain and then another crewmate raises his gun to her, but in the manga he just asks what she's doing. And also, the anime cuts everyone dumping off their weapons over the edge of the ship. Lastly, not anything major, but in the anime Yelena holds her helmet in her right hand but in her left in the manga. Hanji playfully handles the gun she is shown in the anime and even points it towards herself. That small part was added in just for the anime only. Next, the anime also added Levi kicking Hanji under the table to get her attention to whisper to her. Then, when Yelena is giving the second reason Marley hasn't invaded, there is a line opted out from the anime of her saying that the war with Marley and the other nations was started because of Paradis taking their titans away. Lastly, a panel was cut from the manga of the scouts watching over the captive Marleyans as Yelena is talking to Hanji and Levi. This scene starts off at the end of Zeke's request, and we don't get to hear them in the anime version. The manga tells us that Zeke asks to live on Paradis for the remainder of his life and that he gets introduced to his half-brother Eren. In turn, he would guarantee Paradis' safety, provide them with the latest technology, act as a mediator between other friendly countries, and provide intelligence support regarding Marley. And those were the requests we missed from him in the anime. Next, Eren backs up Zeke's claims and says that he touched a Titan with royal blood to activate the founding Titan's power. He is more specific in the manga and says he recognized that Titan as Dina Fritz from a photo his dad left him. Armin turns into the Colossal Titan to scare the troops on the ships in the anime, but they did cut out the boat that they used to sneak up on them from behind. Next, a couple panels are left out of the anime of the scouts having the tied up Marleyans being led back to base and Yelena standing beside Levi, showing how much taller she is than him. Then the anime shows us that they are planning to build a port, but there is no dialogue with the scene other than Armin narrating. Onyankompon in the manga explains how it will connect them to the world, and Connie, Jean, and Sasha make funny comments about the port since this is all new to them. Moving on, we get the scene of Sasha loving Nicolo's food, and I like the anime version more because they made the connection between him and Sasha even more clear for the viewer. Lastly, as Eren takes his shot and the scene transitions to Sasha dying, the anime cuts out the aftermath of what happens. In the manga, there are panels of them taking Sasha's body out of the ship, and Eren, Zeke, Gabby, and Falco being separated. Next, the anime jumps to chapter 107 to Sasha's funeral. It leaves out Armin mentioning that they had a funeral for all of the soldiers that died during the Marleyan invasion, and we only get to really see Sasha in the anime. And because of this jump to the next chapter, it skips a lot of information, but I think we're going to be made aware of it in the next episode. So hang tight, everybody. Lastly, Sasha's father stands behind his family at the grave, and he holds them instead in the manga version. So for this scene, the part in the carriage is from chapter 106 and the part in the forest is from 107. Everything is the same for the carriage ride part, except the anime added Levi mentioning the hotel he was taking Zeke to, but the manga did not. Moving on, when arriving to the forest, Zeke is in the cart for the entire conversation in the manga, but in the anime he is free standing up beside Levi. Then when Levi is mentioning the trees in the manga, he explains further that they are 80 meters tall and that it would be hard for Zeke to get out of there on his own. And he also mentions that there's no rocks in the area for him to throw. When mentioning that it would be hard to reproduce the serum, Yelena apologizes to Pixis that they could not steal materials, equipment, or even experts to help them in the manga version. Yelena doesn't mention this in the anime though. Lastly for this scene, after Yelena says she hopes for the day when we can all sit together at the dinner table, the scene ends in the anime and leaves out a line from Pixis. In the manga, he follows up with, "You must believe no one hopes for that day more than we do." Next is a scene where Gabby and Falco are in jail. This scene is anime only, and hopefully we get back to them in the next episode. But that definitely is something that Gabby would be doing though. The ending scene of Armin talking to Annie left out a panel from the manga where the scouts were reading a letter from Eren that was presumably him explaining his plan. Next, when mentioning all the destruction that they caused at Marley, a line was cut from the manga of Armin saying that it was just like what happened to them all those years ago. Lastly, for the scene, we were able to get a much clearer view of Annie in the crystal of the manga version than we get to see in the anime. This last scene of Eren concludes chapter 106 of the manga, and in the anime, Eren looks a lot more ripped than he does in the manga. Also, his bangs and the hair on the back of his neck look longer in the manga version than in the anime. And lastly, the thing I noticed is that he's wearing dark pants in the anime, but he is wearing a lighter color in the manga. That's all the changes I could find this episode, guys. Let me know if there was anything you noticed that I missed. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, guys, and subscribe for more anime content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.